you can be $300 richer right now. How, you may ask? By not wasting your money buying the iPhone 17 Pro and just getting the base model. So I'm considered your average Android user, where specs, performance, and battery size matter the most. I also have a history of only using flagship phones and being the 1% of the market that actually researches the phones. And this is my first iPhone ever. And instead of getting the Pro like I expected, I went with the cheapest one, the base model. You know, I'm coming from a much larger screen, battery, and more cameras. And after a few months, none of that mattered, because Apple might have created the first base model that is actually meant for most people, and not pros. Firstly, what is even different that I could be missing out on? Spoiler alert, not much. For one, there is performance, where the Pro has the A19 Pro versus the base model that has just the regular A19. The Pro gives you a faster GPU and more sustained performance, with a vapor chamber to keep the phone cool. And as a student and content creator, I can confidently tell you that this does not matter that much. Gaming, everyday tasks, and even heavy multitasking, I really don't think this matters too much. You expect the 8GB of RAM versus 12GB on the Pro to be actually a big difference, which it would be if this was on Android. However, iOS and iPhones might be the most optimized and efficient phones out there. Meaning, even with loads of Google and Safari tabs open, music playing with Spotify, and multitasking AI with assignments, you don't feel the hit at all, even with only 8GB of RAM. This could also be because the A19 is already one of the best chips out in the market, just not as good as a Pro for sustained performance. Which you may think may be an issue for you, but seriously, you can only see this when you're actually doing professional workloads. This can mean hours of recording on the highest resolution and serious editing for hours. But with your everyday heavy tasks, the base model just handles it very easily. Next are the cameras. And to be honest, I might be in the minority, but I really don't care too much about the cameras. It just has to be reliable and pretty decent looking. And those things are mostly determined by software. So any modern iPhone in general already looks amazing. The main difference between the Pro is that you're getting a slightly larger camera sensor and an extra telephoto zoom lens. And I'd say for most people who just upload their photos to social media, nobody would be able to tell the difference between the cameras. Now, I personally don't have a good comparison myself, so I'd recommend watching other creators after finishing this video to get a more detailed comparison between phones. In my own opinion, I really don't think most people will be able to tell the difference, but if cameras are literally everything for you, then go ahead. For me, the main issue with the base model is the lack of Apple Log, which as a content creator myself, I feel like was a really big miss from Apple because it's literally just a software feature. I guess they're trying to make the iPhone 17 Pro only for content creators, which you can kind of see this trend as this video goes on. But if you don't color grade videos, then the cameras themselves are pretty much the same. Maybe if you're a big sports fan or concert fan where you need to zoom in a lot for social media, where I could really see the benefit of the extra telephoto lens. But for me, crop zooming with the base model was just fine. I did this all the time when I was at Indian Wells watching tennis. But do you know why I talk about cameras even though I don't care much about cameras? It's because of the big main new feature, center stage, which allows you to use different parts of the selfie camera to shoot in different aspect ratios. To me, this is not a gimmick. It seriously makes the front camera a lot more usable. You know, I see a lot of people like my dad who tried to shoot in landscape mode to get the view in the back and tried to squeeze multiple people in the shot, and they still have to hold the phone in literally the most awkward position possible. Now you can just take a selfie in landscape mode, holding the phone like normal. And I also found this to be amazing for vlogging because again, you could just hold the phone normally and be shooting a 16:9 vlog. Even if you do think this is a gimmick, the selfie camera sensor just got a larger, better sensor. So literally your front camera experience is better everywhere. Whether you're using the camera app to take a selfie, doing a video call, or just using a dumb filter on social media. And you expect such a big new feature to be just on the Pros, like they've always done every year. So Apple really decided to give every new model the same new camera, because it actually benefits everyone. But you know what really sold me on the base model? The display. I can't believe that this one upgrade would save me so much money. You know what they say, once you go black, once you go 120 Hertz, you can never go back. So the previous base models have never been viable for me because of the 60 Hz display. It just felt very slow and sluggish to me. Not the same smooth 120 Hz experience that I've really felt on every Samsung phone. And I've always felt that they've done this just to sell the Pro. But to my shock, the Pro and base model literally have the same display now. Like seriously, No difference at all. So you're getting an extremely vibrant, bright display that looks amazing in any condition, and most importantly, a super snappy and smooth 120Hz display. Like seriously, I am not joking that I think this is the one feature that sold me this phone. However, there was something that made me hesitant on buying this phone, besides Apple Log, which is battery life. Now, compared to the Pro, you're roughly getting about a 15% larger battery size. How this actually translates to actual battery life really does depend on your use case. But coming from an Android flagship, which in general always has a larger battery size than iPhones, surprisingly, the base model is literally the same or even better than my past Androids. Apple is amazing at being very efficient and using under-spec'd hardware. Now, because I don't have the Pro on hand to actually compare it to, I can't give my thoughts directly on the battery. But for me, the base model can easily last me all day. I almost rarely run out of battery completely. Like recently, for example, I went to Indian Wells to watch some tennis all day. So I was working with terrible internet, constant video and picture taking, a very inefficient and slow Indian Wells app, and in hot weather. Literally a recipe for disaster for battery life. And with a full day of watching tennis and using Instagram on the car, I still was able to make it to my bed with a few percent left. Even with my school days, you see hours of AI, social media, 4K video playback on YouTube, and Spotify, just things that are known to drain battery life. I never even had an issue with those. Literally, I have YouTube fully open while I'm driving to my second school for my zero period, which is around 20 minutes away, and also fully open doing my skincare in the morning. And during that zero period, I have Spotify open the whole time. And I walk out of that zero period, check my phone, and I've only lost a single percent. That is just insane. Now with past Android phones, I'd be probably out of that class with 10% less. So maybe this is just a percentage thing, but seriously, I'm just shocked how good this phone lasts. And again, this isn't me like babying the phone. I pretty much have everything on, with the highest resolution on everything, and always on display turned on. But it's not perfect. Like, this isn't the best battery life by any means. The Pro and Pro Max will definitely give you a few more hours, which I see can be extremely useful for someone who completely forgets to charge all the time, or often goes on long trips where that extra battery life can be super important. Also, with any heavy tasks like recording, the base model sometimes did warm up pretty quickly and drain battery life a lot. So I wouldn't do heavy content creating all day with the base model. But again, for 99% of people, even those who push their phone a lot, this can easily last all day. The only issue is that even though right now the phone is super efficient and lasts long, since the battery capacity itself is super small, eventually when the battery starts to degrade, I'm not so sure how the battery will hold up. So that is an issue that I can see that you may be worried about. However, Apple is known for being good at optimizing old phones. Like, I still see people rocking the iPhone 12 and being completely fine. Now, I know that was a lot of detail, but let me just simplify this for you for a moment. You got a phone that has the same great software, display, and selfie camera as the Pro. You have a full day of battery life, an extremely reliable main camera that is just like the Pro for social media, and performance that is only worse in 1% of use cases. Like honestly, if Apple slapped the new Pro design on the base model and sold it to somebody from last year, they would probably glaze it like crazy. This is one of the best well-priced iPhones I have ever seen. So much so that they even got an Android flagship user to switch to iPhone. I don't know about you, but I think that's amazing. That's all I got. Peace.